Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Halting Talks. We are joined today by, loads of us. Jamie and Aaron, like normal, Nathan from the Kit Drop, and Sam from True Adventures. Lads, how are we?
All good.
All good.
Too bad, mate.
Good.
All
Very
good.
well.
Good to see you all.
Sam and Nate, thanks for jumping on. Much appreciated.
No problem.
We are going to be doing end of season awards kind of episodes. But before we get into that, I will come to Nathan first, and then I'll come to Sam. We haven't had you on since the Istanbul and the Europa League final. Do you want to just sum up how it was for you out there? You were obviously both out there. Just your experience, the memories, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. Do you want me? Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah. Then I'll let Sam go after. Yeah.
Or have I frozen?
Nathan, your connection's been well up and down.
It's because he's moved the room around.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah, it's because you moved the room round.
Start with you, Sam.
Yeah. Sam, go on. You
I'll
go
go first. Well, like I said, I could do an hour on this, but I'm still there mentally. I think I feel like I'm still in Istanbul. I think when the World Cup starts, I'll be able to move on a little bit. But at the moment, I'm just like, I'm still watching the videos. I'm still watching my own recordings of stuff that I recorded while I was there. I've heard that they sell FS Lager in Big Tesco, so I might go to Big Tesco and get some FS Lager, which was the main thing we were drinking out there. But it was just mad. Like, even I got there on the Monday, game was on the Wednesday, and like from the minute I was there, it was just chaos on the streets. In fact, on the Monday, I was thinking, no one's going to have any voice left, and no one's going to have any energy left for the actual game, because people were going so hard and like just singing, it was crazy. So it was mad. And then by the time the game actually came around, I remember on the day of the game, I was in the fan zone, and I was like, bloody hell, I forgot Villa are playing. Because it was just, we were having so much fun. Everyone was just having so much fun out there. It wasn't like nervous at all. And then about an hour before the game, everyone just kind of went, oh God, Villa are playing. And the first 20 minutes, I didn't enjoy of the game. I felt weirdly nervous. That it's like it finally dawned on me. But then that first corner, it's almost as soon as they got the corner, I just thought, we're going to score here. We're going to score. And then from then on, it was just, I don't know. I couldn't describe it. It was just beautiful. I'm just so I'm still on a high from it. Brilliant.
Yeah. I think everyone's still just on cloud nine, aren't they? Really. I think, like you said, everyone's watching the videos and watching different podcasts about it and different things like that. You can just watch it over and over and over again. Nate, what about your experience if you're not going to freeze?
Yeah, hopefully now I'll be back and I'm here to stay. So, very similar. I got there on the Friday evening. Drop the bag straight in the hotel and then straight into the town. And it felt very surreal, because obviously I've never been, I'm not old enough to have gone to the last European final. And so it just felt very surreal. Like, I couldn't quite wrap my head around it, being in the bars in Istanbul, seeing all the fans from all over, like, and everyone kind of, it was very different to experience of being on a normal European away day, or even away day in the Premier League. Just because there was a lot more of us. But as soon as you got into the mix of it with all Villa fans, it was kind of like everyone knew each other. Like you've been best mates for years, and just everyone was talking about their stories, their journeys, with a few beers in the hands, which was great. I really enjoyed the fact that there was a lot of ex-Villa pros from all eras of a lot supporting them, just in amongst it, really, which I found to be really cool. And chatted with a few of them. The fan zone was good, as Sam mentioned. We were kind of we kind of coming in and out of the fan zone over the few hours, because there was main parts of just off the square, kind of like alleyways where there was just pubs either side, and then majority of people at some point was in the Irish pub. I think it was called the Dubliner, from what I remember, and then back into the fan zone, and then you take the walk to the stadium, which was probably about a 15-minute walk, and that's when the nerves started kicking in. And I just wanted to get into the stadium then and just kind of like chill out for a little bit, because you'd had a few beers. It was just kind of like calm it down a little bit more. But yeah, the game itself was just unbelievable. You probably couldn't have asked for a better final from a Villa perspective, because again, like the first 20 minutes, I'll probably agree. I felt it was just a little bit cagey from like the fans in terms of like getting the nerves in, but also I think both sides were just trying to test each other out and feel each other out. But yeah, like the 2 goals, and I'm not saying this just because of the fact that it was a final. It was probably 2 of the best goals I've ever seen. Like, you know, outside of probably John McGinn's volley and the occasional free kick, you couldn't have asked for 2 better goals just to, you know, in a final. And the rest then just became a blur, because obviously Emmy scored pretty much bang on half time, and then for the 15 minutes we were just singing that, you know, the Emmy song over and over and over again. And apart from the Rodgers goal, for me the rest of that half was just a bit of a blur up until like the final whistle blew, and then, like, you know, we were celebrating. We were there for about another hour and a half, but I couldn't tell you outside of what Rodgers was doing. I can't recall the second half at all, really, because it was just a blur of emotions, and everyone was chatting with each other. And because it was very much, you know, rewatching the game since, we were very much coasting then, and you could kind of feel it in the stadium. So yeah, you know, hands down the best few days I've ever had supporting Villa, easily, for me.
Yeah, it's unreal. I think, like I said, you both probably had similar experiences, but slightly different. But looking at different videos and different people posting stuff, just what an experience for both of you to get out there.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to a lot of his videos. Obviously, I'll follow him for a while, but I thought his videos in particular were exceptional. I'm not just saying that because he's here now, but I think he really captured a lot of like what was going on over the course, and obviously him talking. It was probably some of the best videos I've seen in terms of really kind of like the experience of it all, not just videos of like fans and like everyone singing. That all becomes part for the course, I think, because everyone was doing that. But to really kind of take on board what was happening over those 2 or 3 days, yeah, like exceptional, really good.
Yeah, unreal.
Thanks, Sam.
No, mate, no worries, mate.
No,
Really
the
good.
videos, I mean, Sam, your videos are always unreal, to be fair. Just like I said, I just think you can't you can't take the memories away, can you? So happy days.
It was just the best ever. I'll never ever forget it. No one that was there. But I was talking to my friend on the weekend. I saw him for the first time since, and we've like been waiting to like talk about it. It was like, I can't wait to see you so we can talk, you know. And we just talked out the whole thing, and yeah, it was just great. And I was saying to him, he was in a pub in Birmingham, and wherever you were, it was just special. He was with people he knew, he was with people he didn't know. He said he was in the toilet like at about 70 minutes, and he said this guy just hugged him in the toilet and was like, we're gonna do it, you know. And that's what it's all about. And also, like, you know, we were all flying back, so a lot of us didn't get to go to the parade, but I'm glad that everyone in Birmingham got to go to the parade, because they got their moment as well, I think, you know. And he said he went with his daughter, and his daughter was loving it, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I think it would have been quite nice to do the parade later, but like you said, the people that didn't go have obviously got the chance to see the bus and the players bring the trophy going. Just an unbelievable few days lead up to it, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it here and next week, and 10 years time.
For years. And one thing I noticed, I know it's a little bit random, but the signal in the stadium was really good. So like my brother was in Birmingham at the the Attilio or whatever it's called at the NEC, and we were like video timing each other after like full time, and he was showing me what was going on there. We were showing, and I like that. I thought that was really good that we could do that as well. Like start calling people back from Birmingham or wherever to kind of show what we were doing and what they were up to as well. Which, you know, if you can get 4G at Villa Park half the time, like you're onto a winner. That
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch at the end as well, because you could just call people and show people and like celebrate with people that weren't there, which I thought was really good, really nice.
Absolutely no chance again. Any signal at the park.
No chance, no.
Right, let's get on to the awards. We will start with Player of the Season. Jay, I'll start with you. Who are you going for?
I think there's a few you could go for, but for me, I thought in all comps really, who stepped up when it mattered most across the season. I went for McGinn.
Yeah, I think he was probably very. We realised when McGinn's injured how much we miss him.
Yeah.
And after that injury, when he came back, obviously very good. You can't take that away from him. As are you going for?
I think there's been quite, like Jay said, there's been quite a few. I think players have in patches or spells of games. The most consistent for me, and James is going to laugh, is Matty Cash.
I'm not gonna laugh.
Don't think that's a rogue shout at all, because I think Cassie played.
I think he's been the most. Like McGinn's went through a phase of being good. Like Rodgers went through a phase of being good. Watkins has been through a phase. But over the course of the season, the most consistent's been Matty Cash.
I like it. Sam, who are you going for? Player of the Season?
Yeah, I think I did a video about this a while back, and I kind of settled on Cash. And I think I'd been thinking Cash from quite early on, that he was our Player of the Season. But a lot of people came back at me with McGinn, and they kind of convinced me to switch to McGinn. But I'd give McGinn like Player of the Decade maybe, and give Cash Player of the Season, because it wasn't just about what McGinn did this year; it's about what he's done. Well, ever since he walked through the door, isn't it, really? And but I think it's nice to give Cash his due, because he's had a lot of stick since he's been at Villa, and I think a lot of it, to be honest, was because of Emery's instructions. Because, you know, a lot of people are like, he keeps cutting back, but like that's what Emery tells him to do. Like, you know, you look at Villa's stats for the season, we don't cross the ball. We never ever cross. And that's what Emery wants us to do, not cross. And everyone's like, Cash doesn't cross, but it's like Emery doesn't want him to cross. He wants him to cut back and pass it to someone to hit a screamer. But the fact that I think there's other players that in other seasons would have walked Player of the Year. You've got Rodgers, you've got Buendia. It's just a sign of what a mad season it's been, and how many performers we've had that you kind of, you've got so much to choose from. So, but yeah, I think I'll give it Cash because of what he's been through a little bit. You know, it's nice for him to get rewarded, I think.
Yeah. Like that. Nate, who are you going for?
Yeah, I'm going to go for McGinn, but very similar. I thought it was between Cash and McGinn for this season. But yeah, I've gone for McGinn. Again, I've probably gone a little bit more with the heart, really, more than actually what happened game after game. And you probably would say that Cash played a lot more games and was probably consistently better. But I think McGinn, just in terms of like just the spirit of the whole season, kind of McGinn sums it up for me. As well as like his outstanding performances. Obviously, I think that whole week, outside of the Man City game, obviously, I thought he was like the heartbeat of when we absolutely needed him. You know, the Forest game, Liverpool game, and obviously the final as well. And I think, you know, I know a season, you know, you take it game by game, but it's those kind of final games that it kind of make or break your season, and that's why I've gone for McGinn, because I think he optimised exactly what we wanted to achieve, really, especially in the latter half of the season. So yeah, I've gone for McGinn.
Does that mean I have to pick out of 2 and 2? I'm going to go. I don't know. I think I'm going to edge McGinn just purely on the fact that he lifted the trophy, but you wouldn't want anyone else lifting any trophy. So, Sam, you're probably right. Player of the decade. But Kashi has been very good this season. So, we'll edge McGinn 3-2. Goal of the season. Now, obviously, Villa were doing like their own goal of the bloody season competition because we couldn't score inside the box for about 4 months. So you've got quite a few to choose from. Azzy, I'll start with you.
It was between 2, but I'm going to go for probably Kamara against Wolves, just because of the situation that we were in at the time. We needed a win. And it weren't a bad strike either. So for me, it was between Kamara or Buendia against Spurs, but I'm going to go Kamara against Wolves.
Good shout. Sam?
I think Buendia against Spurs is I think that's the goal I watched the most. I watched 2 goals the most. One of them was Buendia against Spurs, just because it was so beautiful, the whole thing. And the other one was Buendia's last minute against Arsenal, which obviously isn't like a screamer or anything like that. But that moment, I mean, yeah, I've just watched it again and again and again and again. It was just so good. But Kamara's a good shout, just because he doesn't score, really, does he? And also, it was even quite a slow screamer. I thought it was like everyone had a chance to go, bloody hell, Boubacar Kamara's going to score a screamer, you know.
I would have gone Buendia, but I think the pass from Cash and the touch from Digny is better than the strike from Buendia, if that makes sense. So for the actual goal itself, that's why I went Kamara.
Yeah. Do you know what? What I will say is we will probably score a goal like Kamara again. I don't think we score a goal like Buendia again, purely for them 2 passes.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
But yeah, 2 good shouts. Nath, what are you going for?
Yeah, it was this was the most difficult one for me, but I'm going to go with. I'm actually going to go with the first goal, Tillemans in the final. I thought that was just like the whole set play, and we've been known for those all season, really, in terms of like those set pieces and doing stuff a little bit different. And yeah, I'm thinking a little bit more with the heart, but I just thought the whole play was just brilliant, and that finish was just unreal for me. So I've gone for that one, and then if I had to pick a second one, I would have gone with Buendia at Spurs. That would have been the second choice.
Yeah, I can't disagree with any of them so far. Jay, what are you going for?
I've got Spurs away the Buendia one, just because that was the obviously it was near the start of when we were on that really good run. It was the first away game I went to this season, so it was nice to kind of see it in person. Like you were saying, Scott, I don't think we're going to score another goal like that for a long time. So to see it live, I think obviously bumps it up. But then the other one I was thinking of was also Tielemans in the final, because it's so hard to execute. One that I find really satisfying, oddly, is I think it was Newcastle away Buendia, and then also you had Buendia away at Tottenham, but in the FA Cup. Just the transition we had from defence to midfield, and the very narrow forward pass of just one touch from Tielemans onto Rodgers and to Buendia. It just summarises what the new Unai team is, really. So I like those goals. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Buendia away at Spurs in the league.
Yeah, I think that one probably wins it then, because I quite like that goal. Like I said, I don't think you score that goal maybe ever again. Whereas, not taking away Kamara or a Tielemans volley, but you could probably score. I don't think I've seen that goal like that with 2 passes. Well, not necessarily Luka Dean pass, but the Luka Dean touch from the Cash part is incredible. So we'll give that to Buendia then. And to be fair, he's had a an unbelievable season, so he probably should mention thoughts. He might get a few shouts for moment of the season. But we'll start with you, Sam, for moment of the season.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I said, that Arsenal game, I was in the whole end for that Arsenal game, and do you know what I liked about that Arsenal goal? Is it wasn't just the goal; it was the fact that in the lead up to it, in the moments before it, like Matson was like demanding the ball from the ball boy, like, give me the ball, we're going to go and win it. And I thought that blew my mind a little bit because over the years, you're playing the best team in the league, they're leading the league. You'd be thinking, oh, a draw is a good result. But they weren't thinking that. They were thinking, we're going to go and beat these. And like Villa Park was on the same page. So it's hard to beat that moment. But I'll also give a shout out to McGinn's third goal against Forest. In fact, the 2 goals against Forest, the Watkins first one, because the relief of it, there was something about it, because everyone was just like, do you know what I mean? It was like, score, you know, and then the McGinn one, him kind of steaming down the pitch and then just popping it in the corner, and that was like, we've won, we're going to Istanbul, like that goal, it was done, you know. And yeah, it's hard as well because the final, obviously, those are the biggest moments of the season, but they feel so massive. I can't even like fathom those yet. I think I'll work it out in a few years, you know. But I think it's hard to beat Buendia against Arsenal, isn't it? Because it was such a release.
Yeah, I think the final was pure emotion, but the Buendia release of maybe for a split second we thought we were in a title race. We could actually win the Premier League. Not that lasted much longer. I think that obviously all plays into it. Nath, your moment of the season?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Arsenal in Buendia. Again, very similar to Sam. I was in the lower Holt, so I was literally like on the corner of the goal on that side. I know he didn't exactly hit it top bins, but we kind of saw it go in, and it was just like pure ecstasy moment, really. Like and as like Sam mentioned, you could see that we were going for it. You know, leading up to that, I think there was a couple of times as well where we're quite aggressive going forward, and Arsenal managed to get it out, and then we just got the ball back and just went for him again and again and again. So that was, I would say, that one for me. But I think I mentioned this on the last time I was on the podcast. And
great chat.
Massive relief came over me to the point where I had to sit down because I thought I was going to throw up, because I was like, Jesus Christ, right, thank God for that. Like, we're moving on. So I'm going to pick Buendia for the pure like moment and ecstasy, but from a pure relief and okay, like we're gonna do this now, was Watkins against Forest.
Yeah, do you know the Watkins against Forest? I think the goal he scored in the league is a great shout for goal of the season as well. No one even, but Ollie doesn't score many goals from outside the box. And that one in the league game at the Park, I don't really see him scoring another goal like that again, either, just on a side note. But, Jay, moment of the season?
I went for a lift in the Europa League. Just never seen us win anything in my life. The only kind of downer to it was that we knew, half hour before that we were going to lift the trophy. So that was the only downer. You want to kind of do it like 1-0, and you're hanging on. Because when that full time whistle blew, it was like I knew we had won it. But if I had to pick one, I would probably say the lifting the trophy.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not sure anyone would have wanted it to be 1-0 with like it going into stoppage time. I was much happier that it was 3-0.
No,
we
but
were cruising. We knew we were going to win.
It's a lot more relaxed, isn't it? Like when the full time whistle went, it's like you're celebrating, but if you 1-0 up and you're hanging on for dear life and the referee blows the whistle, you're a lot more ecstatic. Obviously, I didn't go out to Istanbul, so I was watching at home with my family. But it was like we celebrated when it went to 2-0. Is I knew we weren't going to lose it. So for a good hour, I knew we were going to win. That was the only downer to it. in terms of the pure emotion of it. But I'll still put the Europa League at the top.
I think if it was 1-0 and we did like the Watkins, like the scenario Watkins at Forest thing, I probably would have thrown up if we'd have scored like the winner in the last minute. I don't think I'd have been able to handle that. So I'm quite glad that it was all a bit of a blur for me at the end.
I think you need to give your head a little wobble because no one wanted that other than you by the sound.
No, it's not. I'm saying I wanted it. All I'm saying is that it would have made like I knew, like I said, I knew we were going to win an hour before, so I've already kind of got it in my mind that we won. So yeah, but I'll still put it top though because, like I said, we haven't won anything for all those years.
Okay, Azzy.
I put McGinn at Forest in the semi-final, only above the final, only because I was so nervous going into that Forest game and just getting them the second and third goal just to seal the tie. Just a pure relief that we're going into that Europa League final. And like Jay said, the final, I was never not confident for the final. I was always thought we're going to win. Whereas that semi-final, it was very nervy, wasn't it? So just seeing McGinn get them the second and third goal, yeah, that's my moment of the season.
Yeah, 3 great shouts. I'm probably going to edge with Buendia's goal. So I think the whole occasion, lifting the trophy, it's just obviously just a magical moment. And the Forest game would probably be my next category for game of the season, but we'll come on to that. But we'll go with. I mean, Buendia's doing great. Everything. Buendia for moment of the. We all like to see Arsenal wobble a little bit for the next few days whilst they were that helped as well. Right, game of the season. Whose turn is it first? Nath, I'll come to you first.
Final, easy Europa final. That's and like you know, for the season, but the best game I've ever experienced in my life. That's it. So yeah, that was always going to win.
No words needed really for that one.
Nah.
Jay?
Yeah, I kind of took it in a different way, just kind of the emotions I kind of felt throughout the game, like what I said about the final on the previous one. I knew we had won it a good hour before, so I've gone for Brighton away. So me and you were there, Scotty. It was an absolute shit start. And then obviously the game went on, and I remember that Bezo save at the end. It was like when he saved that, I remember us looking at each other, and it's like that was just peak for me. So I'll probably say game of the season. Yeah, we'll probably Brighton away, 4-3.
Good little rogue shout, Azzy.
Yeah,
it has to be the final. There's no doubt about it. It has to be the final. Winning silverware. So yeah, same as Nathan, the final for me.
Yeah, Sam, what are you going for?
You can't not say the final. There's no way I'm arguing against the final. Like that's like, you know. But the Forest game for me, the thing when we were in Istanbul, the thing I was saying to a lot of people is that, you know, before the game, I felt like the Forest game was the hurdle, you know, like the mental hurdle that the team had to get over, and like everyone said, the final half, I just thought, well, we're going to win. We are going to win. But the Forest game was like, it was just mad as well. Like the atmosphere was just, people were just insane. And Villa Park, it was like, I love that. And also, I thought afterwards, like, no one's ever going to want to come to Villa Park in a European tie again after that, because it was just, Forest didn't know what to do. Their fans didn't know what to do. They didn't even sing all night because I think they were just thinking, this is mad. These people are mad. You know, it was so funny. And to have that Watkins goal and then McGinn to get his goal, you know, it was just crazy. Like I think it was because I had all the adrenaline in the Forest game. I had so much adrenaline, and like you said, the final was weirdly like we'd won it at half time. So that was just like a celebration, wasn't it? But yeah, I'm not going to argue with the final, but I'll give the Forest game a big shout because I don't think I'll ever forget that night at Villa Park.
Yeah, I can't obviously just compare the atmosphere to the final, but the atmosphere in the semi-final was ridiculous. From, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour before kick-off to the minute that McGinn scored the first goal, it was just absolute carnage. Top of the whole end was just done off. So I think great shouts for the final. Jay, the road shout for Brighton. I do think that was a great away day, to be fair. We did have a good time. But yeah, I think obviously the final is the right answer.
Yeah, Brighton away and Istanbul they're not really on the same wavelength.
Yeah. But if you're there,
I
though,
took it in a different way. I took
there,
it the entertainment factor.
I wasn't at Brighton, so I can't comment. So yeah,
it was. I'm telling you now, I was at Brighton, not in Istanbul. It wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was better.
I'm telling you now. Right, the last category that we've done is unsung hero. Now there might be a couple of different ones for this, but I've got a feeling someone's going to win it. I think I know. I'll tell you after. We're back to the beginning. So Jay, you first.
I kind of got two, but I did put Lindelof down originally. But then I was thinking about it, and I've actually scribbled his name out, and I put Aston McPhee. I feel like we wouldn't be nowhere near where we are without him. We've got the joint most set piece goals in all comps, joint with Arsenal. I think he don't get near enough as much credit as what he gets. So yeah, similar to the Brighton on a road shout, but I think Aston McPhee was he don't get the plaudits, and be interesting to see what happens with Portugal at the World Cup. Obviously, I think he's the assistant to Martinez, so see him in a different sort of role. But yeah, no, I think he really stepped up this year, and like I said, first goal in the final came from a set piece. Kind of sets us on a good way, and he always comes up with something different. And I can't remember, someone done it was it wasn't like a pod, but it was like a little interview, and he basically said how in depth he has to go. It was Neil Cutler actually, a few years ago. He said that the detail in which he goes to, not just offensive but defensive set pieces, he said it's off the scale. And yeah, I just think we're lucky to have him. To be fair, I think he's another one, probably like Emery, that needs another contract this summer. People will be coming for him. But yeah, no, that's my unsung hero.
Yeah, I can see that. I think you're probably right. He doesn't get enough credit. Yeah, he's obviously his job. I'll do a keen as that it's his job. But he definitely is one of the best in the business, and obviously fair play to Emery for keeping him in the role when he took over.
Well, that's it. He's the only one remaining, really. That just shows how good he is. He's literally the only one. He got rid of everyone else.
Yeah, I don't mind that as a rogue shout again. As he going for?
I had two. My final vote is going to Lindelof, just for the pure fact that I think he has not put a foot wrong when required, in two different positions, well, three, because he has played right back. So Lindelof for me. The only other one I did think of, which is quite a rogue shout for me, but was Emi Martinez. I think he's been back to his best this season, and he has kept us in some games, including the Sunderland game when they were coming back to us. I think he's quietly gone about his business this season, but I think Lindelof tips it for me.
I was thinking Martinez, to be fair, and I think we were talking on the group chat earlier about we wouldn't be able to get another goalie of that quality, and we take it for granted just how good he is because we've got used to it. When he goes, the same thing when Watkins goes, we just expect a striker to get near 20 goals every season. It's just, same thing with Martinez. He's at that level, and we're not going to be able to replace him, I don't think. But he was one I was kind of thinking of between him or Lindelof on the playing side of it.
Yeah, I can see both. Sam, who did you put down for that?
Yeah, I think Lindelof was my choice, but first thing I'll say is Jay. I never realised you got a bit of a Lindelof look about you, haven't you?
I said that at the start of the season.
It's true.
Yes. There's a bit of Lindelof going on. Yeah, it's good. But I
don't know. I
think-
need to get a test done.
Used to be Luke Chadwick.
Yeah, Lindelof's better than that.
You've grown into your looks then, let's say that.
Yeah.
But I think Martinez is a good shout as well, because I was definitely like not giving him any credit for the first half of the season because I was still annoyed with him. And but looking back, actually, he has been really good. And the Sunderland thing is a really good shout, because if he'd not made that save, you know, the momentum of the season could have been killed, couldn't it, by that kind of collapse? But actually, it kept us going at the right time. And really, it's almost like Champions League was almost sewed up then, because we only really needed a couple of more points after that win to get Champions League. It took us 3 weeks to get them, but you know, it really that was a big help. But I think it's hard to argue against Lindelof, because you know, before the final, the big debate was Onana or Lindelof, who's going to play, and everyone was saying Lindelof. And you know, if you think back to the start of the season, like when we signed him, that you'd be thinking, oh, we're in the Europa League final, and everyone's like, oh, you got to play Lindelof in defensive midfield. Like, that's mad, isn't it? So, like, fair play to him. He's done everything that's required of him. But yeah, the McPhee shout's good as well. I'm going to be watching Portugal and thinking, oh, what's he up to? What are you gonna do? You know, because
You
know
watch
what
him
he's
have a
like.
stinker. You watch him get knocked out in the group stages.
Yeah.
Colombia, I think they got Colombia, Uzbekistan, and Uzbekistan's going to win it.
The only thing I would say about that is, if it's assistant manager, do you think they've got a coach?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
It'd probably
I
be
don't
both,
know
wouldn't
if
it?
Yeah, it'd probably be both, to be fair.
Yeah, he's got to have an input in it, even if it's not his official title.
Yeah, imagine being a set piece coach and going over there and not having nothing to do with the set pieces.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Okay. Then what do we actually go for? Because I
think Lindelof.
Oh, yeah, Lindelof, wasn't it?
Yeah, love that. Nath, last one for you.
Well, probably both a little bit left field, really, because no one's mentioned them. I think Watkins was mentioned, but Watkins is my second choice, purely because I think he's the player that got most of the stick this season. And like, you know, some of it rightly deserved, but I think overall, in the grand schemes of things, I think he had another good season, and obviously he was on fire after not getting called up for England, which probably lit the fuse again. But I think he's, you know, as we've mentioned, that replacing him eventually when it comes to that point is, I don't think we're not just going to get a striker that's just going to come in and bang in 20 goals and be on it when we need him to be on it. So he
offers more than goals as well, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's the way he works off the ball in the running.
Yeah. Especially when he's on it. I think we've had this conversation, and a lot of fans outside this podcast is kind of said, it's if he's got too much time, if he has to think about things, then he kind of seems to sometimes make the wrong decision. But when it's pure instinct and he's a bit angry with it, then I think he can be unplayable at times. So he would be my second choice. But the one I would go for is Pau. I think for me, I think he's just if anything epitomises Emery and how we play, it's him. And I think when he's in our defence, I think we're better. No disrespect to the rest of the defensive team that we've got. But especially going forward, and especially again in the games where he's had to show up. I think he's just been misconsistent. I can't remember him putting a foot wrong this season when he's played, and he's kind of led it from the back in terms of how we go forward and how we press. So for me, I would say the one that's and exactly, you know, the title of unsung hero of the season, it would have to be him for me.
You've convinced me. I'm convinced. I'm switching to Pau.
I like that. I think Pau very much goes under the radar. We're kind of just used to him being there and playing, but we do miss him when he doesn't play, and that would be his second Europa League win with Emery. Just a good player, and I might be wrong here. For my eye test, I think he's got better defensive defensively. He seems a little bit stronger now. More adaptable to the league. Yeah, you wouldn't. It'd be hard to replace another one that it would be hard to replace without spending big.
Yeah, because no one again, like the point I'm making is that like no one's really speaking about him. Like you could say, you know, the seasons before like unsung, but Cash has been getting his plaudits this year, so he's not like been unsung. He's been Mr. Consistent, and everyone's recognised that this year. Same, you know, arguably with Watkins, a little bit more with Emi Martinez. If you get past the whole Man United situation, which eventually everyone did, you could even argue Buendia as well, because everyone halfway through like last season or the season before was like, he's not coming back, he's not playing for us again, like, you know, he's done. And then he comes back and does a season like that, but no one really talks about Pau, so that's why I've gone for him.
Yeah, listen, I'm loving a little rogue shout on all categories, so we'll take that. I
think, sorry Scott, I think a little thing about Pau, which is good for us, is that he's not getting in the Spain squad. I don't know how. Obviously, I think he was in there for the Euros when it was held across different, the COVID one in 2021. But I'm pretty sure he had a mare for Spain in that tournament, and he hasn't really had a sniff since. So it's good for us, really, that he's not getting in the Spain squad, because if he was on that world stage, because I think he's just as good as what they've got. Same with Booba with France, more eyes are on him, and that's when the hype starts to come. Because we've noticed from outside Villa, if you look at Ezri, for example, we've always rated him, but when he started playing for England, people have realised just how good he is.
Yeah.
I think a similar thing would happen with Pau. So fingers crossed he never plays for Spain again, and then he just keeps playing for us.
Yeah, it's an odd one they don't get, but they've obviously got an embarrassment.
Yeah, I think it's that stigma around the Euros, not the one that went 2 years ago, the one in 2021. He had a mare in one of the games, and he's played a couple of times since, but he weren't included in the last 2 major tournaments. So I don't know if there's just a stigma around him after that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But they're the categories that we've done. Does anyone want to give anyone else a shout out for any other bits of the season that we've missed?
Unai Emery.
Yeah, he's good, to be fair.
Yeah, he's all right, isn't he? Yeah,
He's all right. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, I'm just so glad he's not. I'm so glad the rumours have stopped in terms of other people looking at him. That was because that was my worry as well. You know, when I was like, obviously everyone was like, we've got to win a trophy, but I was like, we've got to win a trophy now, because what if he goes? This is our last chance, and it was the last chance for the team. I felt, you know, that squad as it was, which I think will start to break up a bit now, and hopefully we'll get some decent recruitment for once. But yeah, I'm just so relieved that, you know, I've seen videos of him this week. I think was it on like a Spanish podcast? Something?
Yeah, he's speaking Spanish, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was at some sort of event, like, I think.
Mm.
Yeah,
and he seemed very just like, Villa. It's all about.
Yeah, they
Villa,
asked him about
you know,
Madrid, and he said, "I'm all about Villa." Which, I mean, they're gonna say that, but it's just nice straight away. I don't even think he finished the question, and he said, "I know where I'm welcomed, and that's Villa."
I think that's the thing, because he knows where he's welcome, which is important to him. You know, especially like with his upbringing and his passion for football, but also he's getting recognised now as well. Like, you know, Justin, like in the overlap, and I agree with him. We probably have now the best manager in the Premier League. You know, there's a very good. I don't think you can put a candle to anyone really that's coming in, especially in the so-called top 6 now. He sweeps them all away as far as I'm concerned. So the fact that he's getting the recognition. Yeah, you wouldn't swap him. The fact that he's getting recognition as a top manager, and he's being wanted, whereas any other team, and it happened with Arsenal, it happened with PSG, it would have happened at Madrid eventually, where people are already on his back, and it's not going to happen here. So, yeah, well,
the only thing that will go against him is obviously our financial state. But I think he knew that when he was coming into Villa.
Yeah.
So I think he knew that there won't be much money there to spend. But that's the only thing that I can see him leaving if it's another couple of seasons where we've got no money to spend.
Mm.
You can, though, because if you look at the makeup of our squad now, you've got Tiedemann free transfer, Kamara free transfer, Linda transfer. We don't necessarily have to spend huge money to make the squad better. It's just about getting the recruitment right, which is easier said than done, I know, but I sometimes feel like we don't need like 250 million to go get 5 players. If you're picking the right players, he'll make any player better, or 90% of the time he'll make the player better. So I think it's going to be a big summer in terms of recruitment again, and obviously kind of first summer, a big pressure on him. But the other two deserve a mention are probably the two owners as well. They were obviously, or you could see how happy they were, but really, if they never came in 10 years ago now, I know they obviously want to win a trophy, but to take your hats off to them. They stuck around, they're obviously up against it. But you look at some of the ownership, we're very lucky.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If you look across all the sets of owners across the league, I think we're at the very top alongside, cities. You see the state West Ham we're in. Do you know what I mean? And it's the worst thing because that's how a toxic club kind of comes to fruition when it all fills down from the top. And if you had a healthy top, it eventually comes down to now we have a brilliant board, and we obviously have Emery leading it all and going on to the playing staff. Just what you want, really. But yeah, no, I think the future's bright for Villa. If we if we get back-to-back Champions League qualifications, that will really kind of, in my head, set us apart from, because I still feel like we're in the head-to-head with Newcastle. I think people always say it's now an 8 because you've got Villa and Newcastle, but it's still kind of neck and neck. I think that outside of Villa, people probably think that. And if we can get back-to-back qualifications for the Champions League, and I think that'd be massive because teams outside the Big Six, you qualify for them once, and then that'll be that. And I think it'd be massive if we can get that this year.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just before we finish up, what do we think about Morgan Rogers stay or go? I think he'll be a Villa player the first day of the window shine.
I do, yeah. I think he'll still be with us.
Sam?
Yeah, I've gone, Sam.
Go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say, I want him to stay. I know a lot of fans have been moaning recently about his performance, but I think teams are sort of fathomed how he plays this season. And he has been more man-marked. He's played a hell of a lot of games for us this season. And I think we'd be a much worse team without Rodgers in the team.
I think he played every game apart from City away, didn't he? And that's all competitions. He played every single one in all comps.
Yeah.
Man.
He would have played that in his goggles, wouldn't he? That City game.
What's that?
He would have played it in his goggles, wouldn't he?
He would have.
Goggles.
Yeah.
That would have been good. Nah, I would never sell him based on I don't think he's good enough or his form or anything like that. Like Emery, obviously, you've got to go with Emery. Emery played him every minute of every game, so if Emery rated him, and also if he is being marked out of games, we remember that with Grealish, don't we? That it creates space for other people. So you think, oh, he's had a crap game, but this person scored. It's like, well, why do you think he had the space? It's because they're doubling up, aren't they? So I would never ever sell him on that basis. And if we can be smart with our recruitment, then maybe we don't have to sell him. I think the only thing I was thinking was, if we need the money, then we have to sell him. Because, if we need to, we've got an old squad, we need to rebuild it. But if they can be a bit smarter than they have been over the past 2 or 3 years, then great, keep him. Brilliant. I would never want to sell him. How many years have we sold our best player? Delph, Barry, Milner, Young, Benteke. The list is endless, isn't it? And it'd be nice for once to actually keep one. So yeah, I'd look if he's in a Villa shirt, 1st of September or whenever it is when it closes, then I'll be delighted. It'll probably mean that our recruitment is good if he stayed. So yeah, we'll have to see, won't we?
Yeah, it'll be a Villa decision. I don't even think Rodgers is fussed of leaving unless he's told to go. Some of the figures that we've seen, it's not even anywhere near the Grealish figure. So for me, I would only even entertain it from a club position if we're getting that kind of money for him.
We've got to give Middlesbrough 20%, I think, as well, haven't we?
Yeah. So there's all of that involved, and then. I know there's people that are talking about Arsenal saying he would probably go straight in there, and it would be someone like Eze that's kind of losing his starting position potentially. But all the rest, I'm just like, why would you potentially want to go over us? I mean, even Chelsea's mentioned, which I just think is a joke. That's just chat, because why would you want to go to a team like Chelsea in the current situation that they're in? The fact that they're not in Europe. And I think based on kind of winning the trophy this season and the fact that we're in the top 4, I think even if it's just for this season, it's go again one more time. Let's see what we can do for Champions League. And, again, going back to my feelings on Emre probably being the best manager in the Premier League, we could potentially have a real challenge on it for the Premier League. So one more, last rodeo, let's go again one more time and then look at it again in the summer. If you do want to move on, then you can with our blessing. That's probably my ideal scenario, where he gives us one more season and then we see.
I think because there's a lot of managerial changes and most of that 6 or the big 6 as such are either new manager or a lot of. If Villa get the recruitment right and we can sustain it, I don't see why we can't push for, a bit more of a title shot. It might sound a bit obscene, but there seems to be a lot of change going on at a lot of different clubs. And listen, some will get it right, but not all of them will get it right. I think Villa are in a good position to kind of pounce on that to make what we're doing is good, and we keep going on like this. And try and put ourselves in a position to go under the radar like normal. I think we touched on over earlier. No one's talking about it. I was listening. I watched that. Still, no one's mentioning anything. I think even Carragher said he's in the same bracket as Liverpool, above them, and smashed them 4-2 at home. What more do you need to do? I think it's going to be an interesting season. But yeah, lots to chat about the World Cup and lots to chat about when pre-season and whatnot. But I think we'll wrap it up there. Unless you've got anything else to say, but pretty much.
I'm good. All good.
No, I'm all good.
Lovely.
Good, mate.
Someone's got a crackle going on. So hopefully that doesn't come across on the board. I don't know who. There's an echo going.
It's whoever can't hear it.
No, I can hear it. I thought it was Scott. I thought it was actually Scott.
Oh,
I could hear it.
He's the first one to point the finger.
I don't know. I can't hear it but I can hear it on certain things.
The most that happened for me was when Jamie was talking.
Yeah, it was when Jamie was talking.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Blame the youngest.
Sorry,
All
Luke.
right, mate, you look like Lindelof, so it could be worse.
I don't take the blame for it.
Yeah, Jamie's your fault.
Your fault.
Right, that'll do. Nath, thanks for coming on. Sam, big thanks to you for coming on as well. You haven't obviously started the season. I think me and you did the last one for Sunderland and Bologna.
Did we? We should go back and watch that. Find out what we were saying.
I think we stopped the rot of not scoring. I'm pretty sure we were saying people need to get off Emery's back and obviously have a bit of belief he's still a good manager.
That's right. We were right.
We were right. We'll end it there. We were definitely right. Right, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. And we'll be back next week with an episode of sorts. Up the Villa, up the Europa League winners.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Good to see
boys.
you
Thank you.
guys.
Up the Villa.
Other Villa.
All the Villa.
Cheers. Up the Villa.